If you track your recovery with a Whoop, Oura Ring, Garmin, Apple Watch, or another wearable, you probably become familiar with one metric that gets a lot of attention: heart rate variability, or HRV. And sooner or later, many people ask the same question: can a peptide actually increase your HRV? If you spend any time on social media, you probably heard people claim certain peptides dramatically improve recovery scores. But is that really what's happening? The answer is yes, but probably not for the reason you think. I'm Kareem Haskett, founder of Kareem Optimize, certified biohacking coach, and longevity and performance consultant. On this channel, I help people improve performance, recovery, body composition, and longevity through evidence-informed optimization strategies. Today, we're talking about which peptides have the biggest impact on HRV, and more importantly, why. Before we continue, it's important to remember that this video is for education purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. The peptides discussed in this video may not be appropriate for everyone, and many have not been approved for all of the uses being discussed. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before starting or changing any medical treatment. Now let's start with one of the biggest misconceptions about HRV. Peptides don't simply force your HRV higher. HRV is a reflection of your autonomic nervous system. Specifically, it's a measure of the balance between your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response, and your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest response. The higher your HRV generally is, the more adaptable and recovered your nervous system tends to be. So instead of asking which peptide raises HRV, a better question is which peptides improve the physiology that allows HRV to improve. The compounds that have the greatest influence typically target one or more of three areas: inflammation, sleep, or autonomic nervous system regulation. Let's start with BPC-157. Most people know BPC-157 as the injury recovery peptide, and it certainly has earned that reputation, but that's only part of the story. BPC-157 also appears to influence the gut-brain axis, vascular function, and nitric oxide signaling. Preclinical research suggests it may help reduce inflammatory signaling while supporting endothelial function, allowing blood vessels to respond more effectively to parasympathetic activity. The result? Many people report improvements in recovery that may also be reflected in HRV. Next is Epitalon. This is one of the most fascinating longevity peptides because its primary target isn't muscle, it's your circadian rhythm. Epitalon has been studied for its effects in the pineal gland, melatonin production, and healthy aging. Why does this matter? Because some of your highest HRV values occur during deep restorative sleep. If your sleep architecture improves, your overnight recovery often improves right along with it. That's one reason many people report improvements in HRV while using Epitalon. Human data remains limited, but the proposed mechanism makes it an interesting area of ongoing longevity research. Now let's talk about growth hormone secretagogues. Compounds like CJC-1295 combined with Ipamorelin don't directly increase HRV. Instead, they stimulate pulsatile growth hormone release, and one proposed downstream effect that may be an increase in slow-wave sleep, also known as deep sleep. Deep sleep is where parasympathetic activity dominates, so if deep sleep improves, HRV often improves as well. Next is Selank. Selank works very differently. Rather than acting primarily on sleep or tissue repair, it influences neurotransmitters involved in stress regulation. By helping reduce sympathetic nervous system activity, it may allow parasympathetic activity to become more dominant. If chronic stress is one of the primary reasons your HRV is suppressed, Selank may have a meaningful impact on recovery. Now I'd like to mention two additional peptides that deserve discussion. The first is thymosin alpha 1. TA1 is generally recognized as an immune regulating peptide. And that's true, but immune regulation and autonomic regulation are closely connected. Chronic low-grade inflammation can suppress HRV. By helping regulate immune function and inflammatory signaling, TA1 may indirectly support improvements in autonomic balance. While the evidence specifically evaluating HRV is still limited, the underlying physiology makes this an area that deserves further research. The second is MOTS-c, one of my favorites. MOTS-c doesn't directly target the autonomic nervous system. Instead, it improves metabolic flexibility and supports mitochondrial function. When your cells become more efficient at producing energy and responding to metabolic stress, your body often becomes more resilient overall. That improved resilience may contribute to better recovery over time, although any improvements in HRV are likely indirect rather than immediate. Now let's discuss something that surprises many people: GLP-1 receptor agonists. Compounds like Semaglutide, Tirzepatide, and Retatrutide have dramatically improved the treatment of obesity and metabolic disease. But many people also notice another effect: their resting heart rate increases. And many people also notice their HRV decreases. Research suggests these medications can reduce cardiac vagal activity while increasing sympathetic influence on the heart. That doesn't necessarily mean they're harmful. It simply means HRV should always be interpreted within the context of the entire clinical picture. For someone dramatically improving metabolic health, body composition, blood sugar control, and inflammation, a modest reduction in HRV may not outweigh those broader health benefits. This is exactly why context matters. At Kareem Optimize, we don't chase biomarkers. We optimize physiology. HRV is an incredibly useful metric, but it's still just one piece of a much larger puzzle. If you're looking to improve HRV naturally, remember this: the biggest drivers usually aren't peptides. They're quality sleep, stress management, recovery, exercise, nutrition, and overall metabolic health. Peptides can absolutely support those systems, but they work best when the fundamentals are already in place. So what should you remember from all of this? HRV isn't something you optimize directly. You optimize the physiology that drives HRV. Better sleep, better recovery, lower inflammation, better autonomic balance. That's where the real improvements come from. Peptides may support those systems, but they don't replace them. If you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate if you would like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. It helps more people discover evidence-informed content on performance, recovery, body composition, and longevity, and it lets me know what topics you'd like me to cover next. If you'd like to learn more about performance, recovery, body composition, longevity, peptides, and evidence-informed optimization strategies, visit KareemOptimize.com. You'll find educational resources, optimization tools, and practical guidance designed to help you make informed decisions about your health and performance. And if you're looking for personalized guidance, you can also request a free personalized protocol based on your goals and objectives. I'm Kareem Haskett, and until next time.